tell us what you want, all right? Okay, I'm here to help you. Open yourself, fucker!
Hello everyone, welcome to Kill the Cast. My name is Jerry, and with me tonight is the ever-quotable Jay.
You're all my children now.
Well, I am younger than you. And the Silent Hill biker himself, Kenneth.
Hi.
That was super kawaii.
And you call me Daddy.
I do call you Daddy sometimes. I call a lot of people Daddy, to be fair. I got daddy issues.
I thought I was...
So anyway, Jay, what have you been up to this week?
Well, I went to go see Upgrade yesterday. Not really horror. It's like sci-fi, but it's directed by the guy that did the original Saw. Not James Wan, the other one. The other guy that wrote it, Leigh Whannell. I don't know how to say his name. That half of the Saw team. It's kind of like RoboCop-ish, except more different. I don't really know how to explain it. Guy gets into an accident, becomes a quadriplegic. Jeez, I can't say that word. Doctor gives him a chip that allows him to walk again. Chip turns out has a really intelligent AI and tries to help him solve his wife's murder in the case of who turned him into a quadriplegic. And it also allows him to fight really, really good. And so it's got some really cool action scenes. It's got some decent gore in it. I enjoyed it.
Word. Alrighty then. Kenneth, what have you been up to this week?
Not really a whole lot. I mean, working and stuff like that. But I finally got around to watching that movie Ex Machina, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think I am. And it was a really, really good film. It fucking got to me on a personal level, because I'm really into, like sex dolls and stuff like that. And so, but seriously, no, damn. The reason why it got to me on a personal level is because, damn, this guy that in the movie, he thinks that there's something special about him. And so he gets, to check out AI, the birth of AI. And to me, that's really, really cool. But also at the same time, I didn't realize when I was watching it that the guy that wrote and directed the movie has been a part of some of my other favorite films, he wrote 28 Days Later, and he wrote Sunshine, which are two of my favorite movies. And so I don't think that we as horror fans or as film fans altogether really take the time to give credit to the people that write these movies, because a lot of times, we all get hard-ons for people like, the directors like Ridley Scott or people like that. And they bring the vision to life. Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of times there's no story, there's no outline for them to bring to life without a writer. And so I want to take the time to think about that, because there are a lot of times, like Ridley Scott didn't write the Alien movie. You know what I'm saying? Dan O'Bannon? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, and I think it's Dan O'Bannon. Right, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the same dude that wrote Return of the Living Dead
and directed it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but we don't pay attention to that. The only thing that when we bring up the Alien films is Ridley Scott.
I think it's because with a lot of movies, you have a few different people who worked on the story and the script, and so it's easier to just focus on the director because there's one director, as usually there is. A lot of times there can be a few different, who the story was by, who wrote the script, who did dialogue, there's so many hands in the pot when it comes to actually making the script. But you're right, we do need to actually focus a bit more on who actually started, writing it.
I mean, like I was saying, the dude that did Ex Machina, not only did he do, Sunshine and 28 Days Later, he wrote the novel for The Beach. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen that movie with them, Leonardo DiCaprio in it. That movie's fucked up, but it's amazing.
No, I haven't seen that movie.
It's really, really good. And he also did the new Dredd movie, which I actually really enjoyed.
Oh, the new Dredd movie is amazing.
That's a fantastic film.
Yeah, he wrote the screenplay for that. And here's a good one. He wrote the fucking story for the new Devil May Cry video game. The one where they tried to reboot it. I actually really enjoyed that game. And he wrote the fucking story for that. And so it's like when I found out all these things when I was watching, when I was watching the special features for Ex Machina, I was like, wow, it blew my mind because. Like giving a good example, like 28 Days Later, the only thing that I ever did was have a hard on for Danny Boyle because Danny Boyle was the guy that directed it. He directed that. He directed Train Spotting, but I never really gave credit to the fact that Danny Boyle didn't come up with the idea. He just made it into a great vision.
Yeah, is it Ex Machina is like a sci-fi thriller, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the crazy thing is there's only like fucking a grand total of 4 actors in the entire movie.
You know what they called it in Italy? Ex Mamma Mia.
No, they did not.
No, they didn't.
I thought you were gonna say a Royale with cheese.
Oh, sorry.
I'm actually I like. I guess you're right. People don't talk about the writers a lot, but I am one of the kinds of people who will look at the writing credit, and if it's somebody's work I've enjoyed in the past, then I'll get even more hype for it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've never until recently, I've also never taken the time to pay attention to like producers on stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
producers, I can go either way. There are some people, it just depends, but a lot of the times the producer is just the person throwing money at it, and sometimes that's not a good thing either. Sometimes they're like, produced from the same people that brought you Transformers 4. I'm like, cool, won't watch that.
But I mean, it's like I've never really paid attention to like what I was saying about producers. From that standpoint, I don't pay attention to that as for how good the movie's going to be. But then again, you don't pay attention until you start looking at it, how long some of these people have been in the business. Like, for instance, Gail Ann Hurd. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She's fucking one of the producers on The Walking Dead. She's also produced all kinds of other shit. Like, she produced Tremors, the first Tremors movie.
Damn, yeah, I will say I rarely ever look at producers.
Right, and see, I never used to either until I started seeing some of the same names on these movies that I've been watching recently, and I'm like, man, what the fuck, And the thing about it is it's one of those things that you once you start getting into it, you start realizing how deep the rabbit hole goes, further than what you think it does as a horror fan. And I only say that about horror because a lot of times you see the constant of people throughout different subgenres of horror. And I found that interesting.
Fair enough. Maybe we need to do like a spotlight on a writer at some point.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. We'd have to figure out who, but
yeah, well, we'll figure it out. So, as for me this week, I have been watching a lot of Dario Argento films, kind of going through all my Blu-rays I've had, watching a lot of his giallos, and I've been watching a couple of other giallos by a few other directors. Like today I watched New York Ripper by Lucio Fulci, who we all know from Zombie.
How was it?
It's really good if you like... It's a lot of people... There's a big debate whether it's a slasher or a giallo, but I definitely think it's a giallo because it does have a big mystery, which is the big thing with giallos. But if you want to get into giallos and you want an easier way to get into it and you like slashers, that one might be easier for you to get in. It's Fulci, so there's a lot of sleaze. There's, of course, an eye scene, and your killer quacks like a duck. So there's that.
That's awesome.
And then
Does it got nudity in it?
Yes, it has a lot of
sleaze,
nudity.
lots
It's
of it.
sleazy. And then I also watched Stage Fright, which was okay. It was cool. The killer gets to wear an owl head, so he's like an owl the whole time. But I've been watching a lot of Dario Argento films. I've watched Cat O' Nine Tails, Inferno, Suspiria, The Bird with Crystal Plumage, Deep Red, Tenebrae, Opera, which, guys, Opera is one of the best movies I've ever seen, except for it randomly starts playing 80s hair metal, like when the killer attacks someone. And it is so... No, it takes you so bad out of the film. I want us to do Opera because I need to see if it's maybe just because I don't like hair metal, but it just takes me out of the movie every time it fucking happens.
I got a friend of mine that does opera.
Dude, it's fucking impressive in the movie. But Opera was really fucking good. And Tenebrae is probably my favorite Argento movie. And I also finally got around to watching my 4K restoration of Suspiria.
That was awesome.
That Synapse put out. That is the most beautiful movie. Like, that is the most beautiful transfer I have ever fucking seen. It is drop dead, flawlessly gorgeous. I was fucking blown away. Because I hadn't watched it since I got it, because right before I got it, I went and saw a 35mm print run of Suspiria in theaters, so I didn't really have the urge to watch it. But since I was going through all my Dario Argento movies anyway, I figured, why the hell not? And so I watched it last night, or night before, I think it was Friday night, but if you do not have the Synapse release of Suspiria, I highly recommend it. It is one of the prettiest looking Blu-rays you will ever see. It is. It looks better than my John Wick on 4K. Like, nice. It's a 4K restoration, but it's not a UHD Blu-ray disc, and it still looks better than my UHD Blu-ray disc.
Huh.
It's fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Which reminds me, like, the last Argento movie I've got to watch right now is Phenomena, which has got Jennifer Connelly and guy who played Loomis in Halloween.
Yeah, that guy.
How am I forgetting his name? He's fucking. Damn it.
Donald
Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance.
There you go.
There you go, Donald Duck.
And if you heard all that racket, that was me grabbing the case right in front of me.
I guess I could have done that too. I have it sitting behind me. So yeah, I've been I'm just in a big giallo kick right now. If you don't know what a giallo is, it's basically murder.
It's a restaurant that I deliver to.
It is.
It is. Chocolate is my favorite. My favorite giallo.
It's basically murder mystery movies that were really popular in the 60s and 70s in Italy. Mario Bava is like held as like one of the creators of it, and Argento, like all of his big movies are all giallos. That's what Argento got famous for. But yeah, so I've just been watching all of those to kind of just because I've been chilling out all week. So it's been fun. And I've also watched the movie we're reviewing literally like 3 times this week.
Oh,
I've watched it once, but I've seen it so many times that I really...
Yeah,
I
watched it once as well.
By the way, before we get into it, I'm sorry, Jerry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
Actually, well, I kind of did.
At least you're on.
Sorry. I'm talking now.
By the way, all right, neither one of y'all said anything. Did y'all watch that trailer that I sent you for the new Tremors TV show?
No, I don't want to watch it because it's canceled.
Yeah, I've watched the trailer before.
I don't want to watch it. It's canceled. I don't want to see what I could have had. I'm done.
I didn't know that it was canceled.
It got canceled.
Maybe if you would watch our news show that we produce, you would know.
But yeah, no, I haven't watched it because like I want to watch it. I really do. But at the same time, it's canceled and I don't want to watch it and be like, fuck, I really want to see this. I'd rather just not know.
I feel it.
Now, Kenneth, had you had known that it was canceled, would you have watched the trailer?
Hell yeah.
Really? Even though you
because then I at least got a fucking minute and a half of something to skeet to.
Okay, I mean, a minute and a half, that's longer than I last, so.
I just put it on repeat.
Oh, okay, there you go.
That way, by the second time it repeats through, it gives me a whole 3 minutes, and I'm usually done by then.
Nice. 3 minutes, man. You're fucking God over there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, and you're right. I should watch y'all's. I assume that's the news from the news or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I should watch that. Considering that I'm a part of Kill the Cast and all the brand, but I just hadn't got around to it.
Yeah.
That's okay. I would like some episodes or some feedback though. I always like feedback.
Yeah. So guys, if you haven't been checking out News from the News on our YouTube channel, has Jay and I covering a bunch of news topics. The videos could be anywhere from 10 minutes to 20 minutes, depending on how much news we have. Sometimes we got nothing. This past week, not only did I just not feel good all week, but I had very little to go off of, even though, once again, Jay, as soon as I recorded and sent it to you, the
You had
next
some
day,
stuff?
Scream Factory is like, oh, here's the rec collection. I'm like, oh, thanks, fuckers. I
That's
appreciate
okay.
that.
Save it for next time.
I will. I've got it for next time.
That reminds me, since you bring up the Rec Collection, I watched that
the
movie
rectum.
on.
What?
Since you brought up the Rec Collection, I watched that movie on fucking Netflix called Veronica. Have y'all talked about that on News from the News?
No, 'cause
No,
that's
that was old
old.
news by the time we started doing it.
Okay, I finally. All right, I hadn't heard about that either. You can see how much I keep on.
You are
keep
not
up
in
with
Then
any
it.
our
of the
show,
Facebook
our
groups.
show is perfect for you. Then
Yeah, so that way I can keep up on current events. But I finally watched the movie, and I actually wish that I could have been a part of the Twitter tweets for how scary that movie was supposedly.
Yeah, that's one of those movies. I feel like every couple months there's a movie that comes out that people are like, this is the scariest horror movie ever. And then, like, when that came out, I heard so many, like, normal people be like, it was so scary. But all my horror friends I asked, they were like, it was okay.
Dude, I'll put it to you like this. You know how much I love long, drawn-out fucking horror movies. I fell asleep
Oh, wow. Shit.
while I was watching it.
so I honestly think a lot of those headlines are misleading. They said this is the movie that's so scary everyone's turning it off. I think what they're doing is just looking at the view, because Netflix can see how many people view a movie, how long they view it for typically, if they watch the whole thing or not. And I think they just took the data that people were stopping watching this movie and then spun it into a hype train to get more people to watch it.
I don't
is
know,
what
dude,
happened.
because people were
But-
actually tweeting that they were turning it off midway through the movie because it was so scary. People were actually tweeting it. And
Wow.
the only thing that I could think of is I was just like, this has got to be a PR campaign.
I actually I really hate when that's how they advertise a movie, because it sets for people who aren't like me and Jerry. I don't know how you are with this, Kenneth, but for people like me and Jerry who can separate a movie from what everyone else is saying about it, it's fine. But for everybody else, it sets this expectation in their head that they're now going to watch the scariest thing they've ever seen. And then when it's not, they hate it. Maybe not in this case, but even when it's a good movie, the hype is fucked with their heads so much that they're just like, nope, this wasn't scary, so it must be garbage, and they don't give it a fair shot. So I hate when movies advertise themselves like that, and Hereditary's doing it, and I'm really, really looking forward to Hereditary. The trailer looks amazing, and it looks original, and it actually looks like it could be scary in the way like The Exorcist was scary, but it's hyping itself up, and I think it's going to put undue, what's the word I'm looking for, expectations on people.
Well, see, the bad thing about that, I try to do the same thing. There are some times where a movie gets hyped up so much, and then I see it, and I'm just like, okay, that was just a fucking waste of the hype. And it has happened to me before. Jerry knows it, because there's been a couple of times where I called him up, and I'm like, man, fuck, what the fuck? That's just it. That's all I got to say is what the fuck. But at the same time, like this movie, I'm not going to deny the fact that there were elements of it that were decent. There were. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, the main reason why I watched the movie is because if you've got all these people from a regular audience that are saying this is one of the scariest things that they've ever seen, I'm not watching the movie to fucking be afraid and hoping that I'm going to be afraid and hoping that it's going to be the greatest thing I've ever seen. That's not the reason why I'm watching it. I'm sitting there and I'm watching through it just to see how stupid these people really are that they're saying this shit. Because, and that might be wrong of me to think that of the general audience, but at the same time, I've said it before, don't give the general audience that much credit. And so that's exactly why I watched it, because I was just like, okay, I really want to see how shot out these people are to think that this would be something scary in comparison to some of the shit that you, Jay, have watched, that Jerry has watched, and that I have watched. Because all three of us have watched some seriously shot out shit.
Yeah, well, the problem with what's scary and what's not scary, that's all in the eye of the beholder. What's scary to you might not be scary to someone else.
Yeah,
So
but generally, when it comes to certain things, certain things throughout cinema history, there is a standing amongst everyone about certain movies. Like, we'll go to one of my favorites at the time period and up until now. Everybody gives almost. There are some people out there that don't, but for the most part, the majority of horror fans and regular audience members give the credit to The Exorcist for being an extremely scary movie. You know what I'm saying? And then you've got other ones that are the exact same way.
My mom is petrified of Hellraiser.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And we can say the same thing. You know, at some point in time, I don't know about you two, but at some point in time, Pinhead has scared me at some point in time in my life. You know what I'm saying? And it may have been when I was younger. It definitely doesn't now. Now I look at it for the fucking just absolutely masterful art that it is. But, you know, things like that. But there are movies out there that are just all the way around fuck with people. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is another one. You know what I'm saying? There's never been a moment. Some people out there say that it sucks, but the fucking the percentage of that is very small. Everybody else always remembers it as being one of the scariest movies of all time. I don't particularly find it to be one of the scariest movies of all time, but I also think that Texas Chainsaw Massacre has its place in horror history.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, on the thing Jay said about the Netflix spinning, I saw an article the other day that was like, these are the scariest horror movies on Netflix according to Netflix that people can't finish. And I'm like, how do you determine if they didn't finish it because it was scary or they didn't finish it because it was bad?
They can't. Like I said, it's just them guessing.
Yeah, it's just them spinning it. But yeah, I guess that's a good way to spin it if you're going to do it. So
technically, you're not lying.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, let's get into it. The movie we are doing tonight is
They couldn't figure out from my quote, and I've got some bad news for them.
Well, if they didn't know from the title of the episode, I've also got bad news for them.
I guess. I forgot that they see that.
But since we've been talking for 20 minutes, it's a nice formality to be like, hey guys, guess what? Here's the title again. Anyway, we're doing A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Now, before this week, I had seen this movie once when I was younger, and I remember jack shit from it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series, so besides like 1 and 3, and maybe New Nightmare, I haven't seen most of them except for like once or twice before. This one I had only seen once, and now after this week, I have seen this movie 4 times. So, what does that say about me? I don't know.
It says the same.
Really like this movie.
I was going to actually say the opposite of that. That it just stands to reason for how many times you've said over and over and over again how much you dislike the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So it's no surprise that you've only seen this movie accumulated of 4 times in your entire life.
Yeah, and 3 of them being this week.
Right.
So let's get into it with some background information. Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge came out in 1985, directed by Jack Shoulder. It is the second installment of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. The screenplay was by David Chaskin. That's really important because all the homosexual stuff in here is all his fault. It stars
fault or
we'll get into it. I don't want. We'll get into it. It stars Mark Patton, Kim Myers, Robert Russler, and Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Patton plays Jesse Walsh, a teenager who, after moving into the home of Nancy Thompson, begins to have recurring nightmares of Freddy Krueger, who is out to possess him in order to kill in the real world. It is a sequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it is followed by Nightmare on Elm Street 3: The Dream Warriors. This film grossed $29.9 million at the North American box office, off of a budget of $3 million. It is a 5.4 IMDb rating, and it is ranked number 5 in the franchise according to IMDb, only beating out Freddy's Dead, number 5, The Dream Child, and the remake.
That's not how I have them ranked, but that's okay.
Well, if I had them ranked, I don't know.
They'd all be in the garbage.
They'd all be in the garbage, except for this one. Because you know what? I fucking love this movie.
Holy shit.
I am going to say this now. This is so much better than the first fucking movie. It is truly scary. There are some really fucking creepy and unsettling scenes in this movie.
Are you stoned?
No, I am 100% sober. I am about to defend the fuck out of this movie.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy the movie. It's just, you know, I mean,
like,
there's
problems with the movie, but most of them are just like stupid technical goofs. Like, why are they wearing the same clothes over and over every day? That makes no fucking sense. Why do they reuse the same scene of them doing push-ups twice? Don't try to act like that's their gym clothes. Those are the same exact people walking in the background. I can fucking tell. And it's like, there's a scene where he's like, I'm going to go out for a while. And his dad's like, no, I want you to finish this room. His dad is wearing red and khaki and he's wearing a yellow shirt. Literally, the next day when the bird scene happens, they're wearing the exact same fucking clothes. And it is the next day. It is clearly the next day. Far into the day. Like, after school, all that shit. So what, did he wear the same clothes fucking 2 days in a row? Both him and his dad?
Hey, man, considering everything that's been going on in their house, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and their fucking hellhole of a fucking... Why was her diary left in the fucking house? That makes absolutely no goddamn sense. Literally, the house is the scene of a crime.
Are you sure you like this movie?
Yes. The two biggest things that make no sense to me, one of them's serious, and that is the diary. It makes no sense that it's there. There was no reason we would see a diary in the first fucking movie. The only good thing the diary does in this movie is it makes me believe the relationship in the first movie was actually better than the first movie made it seem. Because now I'm actually, you know what? Maybe Open Mouth Horror of Nancy actually did love Johnny Depp. Because she was having fucking sexy writing time like Anne Frank in her diary. Yet in the fucking movie, she couldn't even hold his fucking hand. So... I'm just saying, if you think my Anne Frank comment is out the wall, they just recently, I don't know if you saw the articles, but they found, they decoded pages or found pages that she had marked out, and it was basically her making sex jokes.
Nice.
It's about that. So, like, that's one thing. And the other thing I don't understand is, when he's sleeping in the classroom and the snake gets on him, the teacher starts blaming him for the snake, and it's like, he didn't go get the snake and be like, I just can't nap without Snakey. Like, how did the snake get there? If the snake got out of its pen, that's the teacher's fault. Pretty sure that's the teacher's fucking responsibility. So quit blaming the student.
I get it, because you never really see Grady get up to go put the fucking snake on.
If Grady would have got up to put the snake on there, everyone would have noticed. Unless he did it like when they first got into the classroom before they all sat down. And if that's the case, I want to know how long it takes to do a speech about how we form our shit to leave our body, which also for some reason brings up the heart also. I don't understand where his speech was going is what I'm saying. But nonetheless, I fucking really, really love this movie. Because you know what? I watched Dream Warriors this week also. And didn't like Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors is like... God
damn, that hurts so bad.
It's not scary. It's not entertaining. There's
How can you not? If not anything else, okay, I understand that you don't find it scary, because I don't find Dream Warriors scary at all either. But how can you not find it entertaining? I mean,
it just is too goofy for me. It fucking like
really? You want to compare part 3 to like part 6? Freddy's Dead? You want to talk about goofy?
I'm not saying that.
You didn't say like, Freddy's Dead is good, though.
Yeah,
so
it gets worse. The whole series gets worse. 2 is the pinnacle of the series. 2 is as good as it gets. Man.
4 was pretty damn good.
I like 2 because 2 is genuinely creepy. Freddy Krueger is actually scary. Mark Patton is a fucking hell of an actor. Holy shit.
I met him, man, at the first Days of the Dead. He's a real sweet guy, and he talked to me for 20 or 30 minutes, and it was crazy because it almost seemed like when I first got there that nobody else really knew who he was, and I was like, how do you not know? I mean, like, he's the fucking the male scream queen. Yeah. Everybody knows him as that. How do you not know? And the cool thing about it was he didn't charge me for my autographs or nothing.
I
Took
don't
a picture
understand.
With me.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he was cool as shit.
I don't get the hate for this movie. Like, I get like the whole gay nightmare thing. I get that. I was sitting there like, this isn't that gay, and then the gym teacher in leather takes a bunch of balls to the face before getting whipped to death by towels. I was like, okay, yes, maybe it's a little gay. All right. I'm not saying I immediately went out and sucked a dick after I watched the movie, but a few hours afterwards, I was kind of jonesing.
I mean, when you got the 2 guys wrestling around on the ground and one of them has his ass hanging out, I mean,
Yeah, you know what? There's two instances of just straight up male ass in this movie, and the 2 times there's possibly titties, you see nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, they were
No,
like,
That's what
I
I'm
mean-
saying, man. I mean, it's like you get further and further into it, and the more that you watch, you're just like, yeah.
he's inside of me. He wants my body.
Yeah, I kind of want Mark Patton's body. Reese said he looked like a discount Kevin Bacon, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, so okay, who wants to jump in first and talk about some things they love about this movie?
I'll go.
Okay,
I'll go.
Jay, take this.
So I clearly don't love this as much as you do, and I think
Well,
I
that's
know
because
why
you
I think I
hate
know-
gays.
No, I think I love gays. I kiss them all the time and let them put it in my butt. I think you love this movie so much because
hang
it's
out.
not like any of the other Nightmare on Elm Street movies. It's the only thing I can think of because
We need to hang out a lot.
3, 4, 5, they all follow a formula and a pattern. And so if you like this one but don't like those, it's just because it's not like any of the other ones. And so I think that's what puts a lot of people off to it. I don't hate it like everyone else does. I rank it kind of low on my list of my favorite ones, but that's just my personal opinion. But there are some things that it does amazing. The special effects are just as good as the first one. When he with the scene where he comes out of Jesse's chest and like
Yo,
drops
that
his
scene
body
was
to the
so
floor,
fucking good. Holy
fucking
shit.
amazing. That is just absolutely amazing. Even the beginning when he's just peeling back his head, like that's a actually terrifying thing for someone to have to see and deal with. It's not funny and comical like he gets from 3 onwards. So I really appreciate that kind of stuff. I think the problem that a lot of people have with it is that the writer and everyone else working on it just decided to go off the rails with how Freddy works, and then they go back how to it normally in part 3, and it's just like a little weird, like possessing somebody.
I will give you that.
Being in your dreams, but you know what? Wes never intended for there to be any sequels anyway, so it's what it is. It's what it is.
And to be fair, Wes Craven has said that Freddy should not be doing what he does in this movie. Robert Englund says Freddy should not be doing what he does in the movie. But I look at this movie much like I look at Legend of Zelda 2 Link's Adventure or Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. The rules aren't really fully established, and I'm sorry, but you can't sit here and tell me that in the first Nightmare on Elm Street the rules are established, because they're fucking not.
Oh, no, not at all.
They're not at all. So
because if they were following, then he shouldn't have been able to come back, because there was no more Nightmare Kids, and they didn't believe in him anymore. But
yeah,
whatever.
So it doesn't like I think that's bullshit. I think yes, later on you can be like, well, Freddy 2 doesn't follow what the other ones did. Yeah, but the other ones came out fucking afterwards.
That's true. That is 100% true.
I just don't think it's fucking fair to say that. And to be fair, Freddy in this movie is fucking unnerving. Every time I see his makeup in this movie, I don't know how to describe it, but I feel it just doesn't look right. And I don't mean
fucking wicked looking, man.
And I don't.
That's what he's saying, though.
Yeah, it doesn't look right. In I don't mean that in a bad way. Like that doesn't look good. I mean, it just doesn't look right. It does not look like his eyes looks too sunken in. He looks like it's just fucking horrible to look at. He's genuinely creepy. He makes me feel like he looks like a pedophile. He looks like he's about to fucking diddle me as a child. He looks.
And Jerry, I've said it to you before, man. In this one, out of the entire series, I think Freddy looks the fucking scariest in this one. And I've told you before that scene where he's out there at the pool and he turns around and he looks and the flames are going in front of him and his face is all lit up and glowed. I want to get that tattooed on me. It's so fucking mean looking. I mean, it's just evil right there, man. I mean, it's just so fucking just scary.
You know, Robert Englund improvised that line, "You're all my children now."
Did he?
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure I in my research I saw that because I watched. Not only did I do my regular reading research, but I watched.
Those
I watched
features.
the special features, and I also watched Never Sleep Again.
I watched some of
the
the special features on my Blu-ray. Fun fact: this movie is actually Freddy's highest body count out of any of the movies.
That's
because of the pool scene.
The
and
pool
him
scene
being in reality.
I fucking dug. I thought the pool scene was badass. It was just him fucking with people. It was him.
It is one of the best scenes in the entire series.
Yeah, I saw people when I was looking up shit on people just like talking so much shit about this pool scene, but it all seems to be interesting. Oh well, he shouldn't be in the real world, and I'm like, why not? He comes into the real world in the first movie. Can he not come into the real world in the second movie? Well,
yeah, he does it. He just does it in a different way. To be fair,
I think the whole fucking possession thing is badass because it's basically, dude, Freddy versus Jason is just fucking Freddy 2 less gay. It is literally Freddy going, I need someone in the real world to kill people for me so that people will get scared of me again. Mark Patton or Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, except he's not in Jason Voorhees.
You know what? We don't know what he did to Jason while Jason was asleep.
True. But I think a lot of times that's what people don't pay attention to is the fact that, it used to irk me as well, the whole pool thing and whatever. But then when I got to thinking about it a lot more, I mean, the whole goddamn movie before that is Freddy coming into the real world through Jesse every time. And then we see it fucking physically, him fucking cut right through Jesse to come into the real world. So it's like, so for people to not understand that fact, it just, I don't understand it now because I'm just like, okay, it's laid out right there in black and white exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, because technically every time we see Freddy up until the gym teacher kill, we're seeing Mark's dreams.
Right.
I really need to start calling him Jesse for the character name. We're seeing Jesse's dream, and it isn't until the gym teacher killed that we actually see Freddy come out, and we basically see Mark Patton get covered in fog, and then the shot of not Robert Englund Freddy Krueger walk shittily towards naked gay gym teacher, and then kill him. Another thing I thought was hilarious in my research, and this is pretty common knowledge, but they originally weren't going to use Robert Englund because they didn't want to give him the raise, and they got some other guy, and the dude did so poorly, which you can see in that shower scene, how he just walks like a fucking buffoon towards the gay naked gym teacher. And it didn't work, and they were like, Robert Englund, you can have all the money. You are fucking the guy. That's not the right thing to say when talking about this movie.
Well...
But yeah,
he wants to feel you from the inside.
Yeah, like, and so and the movie opens up in a cool dream sequence. It's got My Chemical Romance, Mark Patton sitting on the bus as non-makeup Robert Englund drives him into the desert, and it's fucking cool. Even though I no clue how they're like, I can get over the fact that they've got palm trees there, even though there really should not be palm trees in fucking Ohio, wherever the fuck this is. There's no way there's a desert for you to drive into. But he drives into a desert and they're on those teetering rocks and it's fucking awesome. And then we go into him like screaming and his little sister's like, why can't he wake up like everyone else, mommy?
Yeah. That family fucking hates him. They're so mean.
I don't know. The mom loves him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, just in general, they're so mean. Like, dude,
it's just a dad that's kind of a
having
dick. He's like,
night terrors.
You put a goddamn cherry bomb up the bird's ass, didn't you?
Take care of your kid.
For real. Jesus. Also, this has got to be the sweatiest horror movie I have ever seen. Like, holy shit. This movie sweats so much that fucking, the record was melting like a fucking... What's that guy's name? The fucking Salvio Dali? What, you know what I'm talking about?
Salvador Dali.
Yes, Salvatore
Salvador.
I said it correctly. I'm standing by Salvatore Dali.
Yeah, you stand by that. That was actually one of my favorite scenes is when all that shit is going on in his room. I thought that was really, really cool.
Oh, dude, when I saw it and I was like, everything's melting. But at first I was just like, Jesus, where did his sweat get to? It's everywhere.
Well, Freddy was making it hot like a boiler room in the entire world.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your skin.
Yeah. I am possessing you, so you're gonna lose your torso now.
Yes, it's fucking crazy. Here's another I got a question. If you're a leather-bound gym teacher at a alternative bar, and you catch one of your students underage drinking in the bar, at what point do you think it's a good idea to be like, I'm going to take you to the school alone and make you run off and then tell you to go get in the showers?
It was 1985, man.
That is not...
That's not what happened in 1985.
I don't know.
Not even in the world...
I was 2 years old in 1985. I have no idea.
Not even in the world of Porky's would this happen. I'm just saying, this is
I don't know, man. Have you seen some of the damn recent things about teachers fucking their students?
That's true,
That
but
shit's been all
Jesus.
over social media recently.
I was just
Listen,
like, oh,
Here's what
man.
I don't understand. How does he keep not getting caught by the cops?
You know what? You're right. How did, like...
So the cops bring him home after the gym teacher, and they're not like, they're like, we found him. It's like, but you also found his gym teacher, like, murdered.
No. They found him walking down the highway.
Right,
Yeah, he
yes,
was
I know,
naked
but that
walking
same
down the
exact night, they found the gym teacher dead.
Oh, why
Like,
do
that-
you not
that
put
would
those
be-
two
That
together?
would be an instant connection for me if I'm a cop.
It's because they didn't want to, like, for once in a horror movie, they were like, no dumb cops. We're not doing it. We're not dealing with that bullshit.
But they are dumb cops.
Yeah, right, because they got Rod in the first movie fast as hell.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't catch fucking shit in this one.
Well, remember, Anthony's
even at the
dad
end of-
was in charge of the police force then, and by that time he's drunk, as we see in part 3. So he's not leading the police force. They're not as good.
Here's the other thing. When fucking Grady gets murdered, you hear the police showing up. They don't see bloody covered Mark Patton running fucking across the yard. And then when he gets to fucking the chick's house, she's like, no, it's all in your head. And he's like, bitch, I am covered in blood.
I just murdered a man.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, look
blood
at
on
me.
my hands. And she literally just does not care. That bitch is so down.
Now let's fuck.
She could walk in to him banging another chick and she would just be like, you're just so stressed, Jesse. It's okay.
Right? And what that goes back to your whole fucking the sweatiest movie. Did you pay attention to how quickly in that scene that she just looked like she'd been standing out in the rain?
Yeah.
I mean, she goes from being all dry and everything and then just soon after that, when like the formation of Freddy is holding her by the face, she looks like she's been standing out in the rain, dude.
You know what's weird?
Probably
If
sweating.
like the ending to this, I will say this: the way that Freddy gets defeated in this movie is kind of gay, and I mean that in the like, you were beaten by the power of love.
That's the power of love.
Like literally, that's the song that should have started playing at this point because I was just kind of like so that's the one thing I'll say. I do not like how Freddy is beaten in this movie. It's just kind of cliche. I'm like, I'm not afraid of you, and if I make out with you, you'll burst into flames. All you have to do is make out with Freddy, and he'll burst into flames. But Freddy's made out with a couple of people in this series, or at least attempted to make out with a couple of people in this series through phones and shit, and never once. Because there was not true love, but she
No, it's because he wasn't possessing anybody in any of those other movies.
So,
Jesse
you
is
think it was-
inside of him.
Jesse was definitely inside him. So
Yes.
yeah, I guess you're right because there are times where you can tell like, Freddy is losing a little bit of control because Jesse's kind of bubbling up to the surface, kind of like in Full Metal Alchemist when they've got that one homunculus, Greed. Not Greed. Is it Greed? Yeah, Greed. He's got the dude from the Asian country inside of him, and they like can like go back and forth, but he can kind of stop him. So it's kind of like that. If anyone watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
Nope.
I don't know
you
if I'm
should
that far, to be honest with you.
watch it because Full Metal Brotherhood Alchemist is fucking awesome. Holy shit, I teared up
Full
like a few
brother,
times.
Full brother, metal
penis,
hood.
metal jacket.
Oh my God.
This is my rifle. I had sex on a Bible. What
Wow,
are we
you've done
talking
that
about?
too?
Yeah, Jesus gives
Dude,
the best.
you want to
handcuffs.
talk about tearing up just to get off topic because that's what we do. So, like I said last show, I've been listening to Pet Cemetery, and the fucking scene where he's flying a kite with his kid. Oh God, that just hit me in the fucking heart.
Yeah, that book is sad.
Yeah, I hadn't even
But
started
he wasn't
it
even
yet.
dead. It was just like, I want a kid. I don't have a kid. I miss my dad. Damn, I'm sad.
All
You should
right.
really write that down.
Haikus by Jay. So yeah, the whole love thing with Jesse being inside him, I didn't really care for. And once again, I don't like the tacked on ending that the producer from New Line keeps putting on these Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Where he's like, I gotta get
Who,
one
Bob
last
Shaye?
jab in there. Yeah, the guy he's the guy that plays the bartender in Leather.
Yeah,
It's
Bob
him.
Shaye.
Yeah, him. I don't like that he keeps doing that. He needs to fucking stop. It didn't work in the last movie. It doesn't work in this movie. Just fucking stop. Let the fucking movie end. We don't need a last Freddy stinger. We just don't.
Stinger.
Yeah. All right. What's something else I can talk about?
Yes, do tell.
There's so much weird shit in this movie. I love it. The toaster catching on fire and it's not plugged in, and the dad's just like, that's just fucking weird. I don't know. He just accepts it. I
really
do like
love
that
actor.
that they bring in the Freddy Krueger killing all the kids. They haven't brought in the fact that he molested them, but I do like the fact that they brought in the kids killing thing, because when Jesse goes into his little sister's room, like, that shit's creepy. The first time when he goes in there and sees her jump roading and he's just like blank face staring at her, fucking shivers down my spine. That shit was fucking disgustingly creepy. Holy shit.
I still to this day find it interesting that kind of gets lost in the progression, is the fact that they completely basically turn their backs on the fact that he was a child molester.
So let me clear this up. Maybe you guys might know this, but might not. Wes Craven was going to make him a child molester. A news story came out, an actual event came out with a child molester that was similar to Freddy's background, and so he actually wiped that from the script because he didn't want anyone to think he was profiting from that tragedy. So the only movie he's actually a confirmed pedophile in is the remake. In the original series, he's only a child murderer. He's not a child molester.
Correct.
And like I said, I hate the fact that gets lost along the way, because it's like it's such a fucking shot out and fucked up version of it. But at the same time, I think that just adds more to. I don't think that Freddy would have become as much of the one-liner cartoon character that he became had that stuck with it.
Yeah, because I can't see him, like, making, like, a one-liner Teletubby joke while he's, like, diddling a 5-year-old.
Right.
I doubt that scene would be in it. They would just talk about it.
But
Like, I don't think they'd actually
yeah.
show him
saying.
molesting kids.
You get what I'm saying, though. I mean, it's just like, I don't think they ever could have went in that direction had that been put there. So maybe for the benefit of the series, yeah. But at the same time, I think for the benefit of the character, I don't think so. I think the character would have been that much more sinister had it stayed with it.
You know what I don't get is, if Freddy killed children, and why does he always come back and kill teenagers? One, you can scare a child way easier. If you get power from fear, you can scare children way better than you can scare teenagers. They can't fight back anywhere near as good. They can't
I got an answer.
communicate properly.
I have an
do you?
answer too.
Okay.
I have an answer. Who wants to go first?
Kenneth, go ahead.
All right. The biggest answer that I can give you is during the time period when this movie came out, it was fucking taboo to kill children. And the only time that I think that I can remember at that time period, and I could be wrong, but was when the kid gets killed in Jaws.
Pet Sematary.
Kid dies in alligator.
Oh, yeah, we got that. But you don't see it as gruesome as it was in Jaws. You got to give credit for Jaws.
Pet Cemetery. He gets hit by a fucking truck.
Yeah.
Well,
still.
but that's not the Pet Cemetery shouldn't count, because he gets hit by a truck, but it's not like
It's not really graphic.
what's killing people
guess
in the
that's
movie is
true.
killing them. as to where like
that's fair. That's fair.
And then
I
the
see what
other
you're saying.
and then the other part of the answer that I was going to give you is because it's all linked to the original Elm Street children, and the original Elm Street children by the time the series of movies started were teenagers.
yeah, but here's the thing. Well, it's linked to their parents because the parents killed him.
So so listen, I can actually give you story logistic reasons. Whether it's good writing or not is up to you guys to decide. But I can give you the timeline of events, how it happens. So, parents kill Freddy. He wants revenge on the parents, so he goes after their kids who are now teenagers. That's the first movie. Second movie, that doesn't count because that's just weird possession shit, and he wants to be in the real world, whatever. Third movie, the kids in the psych ward are the last of the Elm Street children, so he goes after them. In the fourth movie, the survivors are still Elm Street kids. He knocks 2 of them off almost immediately. Then, so he can continue killing, he uses the very last Elm Street child, whatever her name is, Alice or whoever, to transfer his haunting ability to the next set and break free of having to go after the Elm Street kids, and it just continues from there.
yeah,
Isn't
it's
that
just,
basically a longer-winded version of what I just said?
Yeah,
Kind
he
of, but I
he
was
just used the
explaining how
movies
it all.
to back
I was
it up.
explaining how it all links together, because after 4, halfway through 4, it's no longer kids from Elm Street anymore.
Right. It's
It's just the people, but that's because he used the last Elm Street kid to transfer his hauntingness to
I
them.
just don't understand because he could
Patricia
have just
Arquette's character.
Yes.
killed the fucking parents like he killed fucking one of the parents in the fucking first movie.
Yeah.
And then again, the kid, he's possessing Jesse because, like, in the second one, he's not trying, like, I don't know. In the second one, you can't argue that he's possessing Jesse so that he can use Jesse to kill. And it's not like the first one where he's, like, scaring them in their dreams to build up his power or what he does in future movies.
Right.
Because if that's the case, he could have done that with the little girl in the same household as Jesse.
True.
Like,
Maybe she's not. I don't know.
and then the whole fucking. I just feel like it is. I will say this. I do feel like it is bad writing. Why Freddy's doing this, and I will say this: Wes Craven was probably right. This probably shouldn't have had sequels because it doesn't hold up very well as it continues. The powers never make sense. The storyline never makes sense. It's always like weak writing, stretching it for like funny one-liners and inventive
It's like
kills.
the plot holes get bigger.
Yes, like, so Wes Craven was right. There really shouldn't have been the first movie. But I'm glad they made the second movie because I fucking dig it, man. I fucking dig this movie.
At least you have one that you like.
I've got one, baby. And is it Mark Patton's so fucking good in this movie that when he's in that fucking bedroom scene with Grady, holy shit, man, I feel him. I
was just waiting on both of them to start sucking each other's cocks. I think
dude, I was so waiting for some Lord of the Rings fucking
my hand
Hobbit
was down
shit.
my pants, just waiting. I mean,
because they were fucking hot, and I was just waiting for it, But
Yeah.
and Jesse was all sweaty and shit.
Yeah. Man, those fucking kids at the pool are dumb as shit. They're waiting for the parents to go to sleep, and literally as soon as the fucking light switches off, they start yelling and busting out the beers, and I'm like,
It's because they're
hold the damn
expecting dear
phone.
old mom to be going down on dad.
I know, but still, damn, like, fucking give it fucking 10 minutes. Jesus. It's fucking dumb, man. Why are there whale sounds throughout this entire movie? Every time Freddy's on the fucking scene, there's whale sounds. I thought I was fucking crazy, but I watched the special features. They put whale songs.
It's to make you more unnerved. It's supposed to be a psychological attack on the viewer. It's supposed to fuck with your head and make
They
you
were like everyone.
Why is this happening? I don't
everyone
like it. It's
who's
supposed to make
watched
you
this-
anxious on purpose.
I felt like they were just like, look, everyone who's watched this has obviously seen the better movie Orca. So they'll think of the orca killer whale every time they hear the whale noises, and they'll remember that whale fetus, and they'll get even more unnerved. It makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Why was the cereal Fu Manchu?
I don't know, but I fucking
Like,
love that.
I love what it did, because when she put the Fu Manchu fingers on and he saw it, it was subtle. They didn't go crazy with it. They literally just had Jesse look at her and kind of get wigged out, but not make a scene, not flip out, not like throw a chair or anything like, or push back or jump up or anything.
Split her fucking head open or something.
Nothing, man. He just looks at her and he's like, oh, fuck. And it's so, like, there is some subtlety in this movie where things like that happen that are so great. And there's really creepy things that are so subtle, even though they're blatantly in your face. The baby dogs, the dogs with the baby faces, like, they literally do not put that in your face. It's just there to kind of creep her out, and it creeps you out, and she just walks right by it, and that's it.
One of my favorite fucking scenes in the movie is when Freddy decides to just fucking take a big old bite out of that chick's leg.
Yeah, I liked it.
that.
I like it earlier when she thought there were ants all over it, and then she looked down and it's still tied up.
Right.
That was
but I mean,
great.
I thought that was great. I was just like, like you're in a little wrestling battle with this chick or whatever, and you're just gonna fucking bite the shit out of her leg. Well, you know, if that's what you're feeling that day.
Yeah, and then the fucking rat scare, and then the rat scare gets eaten by the cat. That was fucking great.
Oh, there's that spot where fucking goddamn Jesse walks up to when they first go to the fucking power plant, and he walks up to that little cabinet and he opens it up and the rat's sitting there in its nest.
Yeah.
You remember that scene? And the rat looks up at the fucking Jesse like, motherfucker, shut the door.
Doing rat shit.
I thought that was great.
Getting ready to train my turtles.
Yeah, it's like I could imagine goddamn just being irritated at that fact. Turn off the goddamn light. I'm trying to sleep in here, motherfucker.
Yeah, fucking, also, by the way, the main chick in this movie, Catface,
What about Lisa?
yeah,
Catface.
she's not topless in this movie, but she is topless in other movies, in case you wanted to know that.
Cell phone.
Yeah. So
Kill the Cast is going to take a few minutes break here, and
we
be
used
right
to do this
back.
on Married with Children, where I would go and research every like hot chick that's on the show if she had been nude, and almost all of them been nude. One time it backfired because the actress did get nude, but she didn't get nude until she was like 60,
Oh, that's funny.
and it was hilarious.
That's a nice set of tits she's got going there.
Yeah. Why is there
She's
very
got a
little
butterfly
nudity
tattoo on her
in the
titty.
Elm Street movies? Like, I've always thought that was weird for slasher movies to not
What's
have
that?
nudity. In the
Oh.
Elm Street movies, like, what? It's like number 3, the only one that actually has nudity.
Give me a second. Let me scan my memory.
Like, and because number 2 is like the most sexual of all the fucking Nightmare movies, and yet number 3 is the one with nudity. And I know this because the chick who's nude in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was in a Married with Children episode.
Well, she's hot too.
She alright.
I want to say yes. I want to say yes that 3 is the only one with like
Which is very weird.
tits like that out in the open.
Yeah. So this movie got really popular in Europe because Europe apparently dug all the homosexual vibes, which the actors and the director said they were like, "Hey, we knew nothing. We did not realize. I don't know how they didn't realize, but we knew nothing." And the writer eventually came out and said, "Look, I put it in there, okay?
Yep.
That's why it's
It
like
was
that."
supposed to be subtext.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it works. I think now Jesse convincingly makes out with a chick. I will say that he
Well, he's a
had
good actor.
He is a good actor because he is convincingly hitting that. But he also convincingly covers Grady's mouth and stares at him deeply in bed. So he's going both ways, and he could have me any day.
I
I'm
really
down.
wanted to see that happen. I'm not even joking. I really wanted to see that happen.
I know. I feel like him and Grady should have hooked up, man.
I mean,
Instead, he
straight up.
I mean, he technically got inside Grady, but that was only his Freddy Krueger. I also like how Freddy basically, anytime Freddy's on the screen, he doesn't use his glove. It's fucking blades through his fingers. Which
Yeah,
is also
that's
another
true.
great scene when fucking the blades start coming out of Jesse's fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And his whole arm, shit reminded me of fucking Tetsuo from Akira. With
Nah,
fucking the
you're right.
arm fucking busting open. It was fucking awesome.
And then you see like when it goes back to the arm, the end of the arm, like the fucking the tips of the fingers look like they're split open with Freddy's fingers coming through them, and damn, look like kind of like split hot dogs and shit like that.
Yeah, I will say, the special effects look good in this movie, but I also think it's because they don't ever linger on them. Like, everything is always moving, so they never linger on the special effects, which is good because after watching the movie like 3 times in a row this week, there are special effects that don't look that great, but because they don't linger on him, it's hard to notice. Like when they look through his head and the eyeball is in his throat, that doesn't look that great, but because it happens so fast, you don't notice it because you see the jaw moving and everything, so like it looks like a real person.
It's the same thing when Freddy's starting to like when the impression of his face is coming through Jesse's chest. If you take the time to look up at the head of Jesse, it really doesn't look that good. But because all the movement,
it's certainly fake. But
right, but it goes back to the exact same thing that Jerry was saying. There's so much shit going on that you just like you only get a glimpse of it. Unless you're somebody that's intentionally paying attention to it, it still looks great and holds up to this day.
Yeah, I think that the special effects in this movie, because of the editing being so fast, definitely helped it. Definitely made it look good. I enjoyed all the special effects. I enjoy the shit out of this movie. I think the pool scene is awesome when the guy's like, "Hey man, calm down."
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
He's trying to negotiate with him.
Bitch slaps him.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. Man, I enjoyed Freddy having a good time. Freddy was out there just fucking having a good time. Freddy Krueger was also kind of like a cat. He literally like was staring at Lisa and just like then like knocked a bunch of shit down. And I'm like, that's what my cat does.
He's my cat. Wait a second.
I know. I'm gonna get a cat named Freddy. Name him the
not.
Krugster.
You don't like him.
I like him in this movie. I'll specifically call him Freddy 2.
Yeah, well,
No, you can call him Freddy's Revenge. His full name can be Freddy's Revenge.
Oh, fuck, you're right. I can call him Freddy's Revenge. So I'm definitely on board with Freddy 2 being the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie. This is definitely my favorite of the series.
It's my second favorite.
What's your first? 3?
No, New Nightmare.
New Nightmare's your first.
At least that's the dark one. That's good.
Off the top of y'all head, can y'all give me your rankings?
Yes, I have to. Hold on a second. I write it out every time a discussion comes up in one of the groups. So you guys go ahead. I just got to write it out.
I don't have a ranking.
I have a ranking.
I've got Nightmare on Elm Street 2 into fucking list.
I'd probably have to go with. It'd be New Nightmare. It'd be my first favorite. The next one in the line would be 2, and then probably 3, 4, 1, 5, and then 6.
Is 6 Freddy's Dead?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm assuming the remake's last?
Yeah.
Okay.
The remake used to be higher in my list, and then I don't even count Freddy versus Jason.
Well, I do.
Gotcha.
So I have my ranking is 3, 1, and this is from best to worst. 3, 1, New Nightmare. 4, 5, 2, Freddy vs. Jason remake, and Freddy's Dead is the worst.
Okay, so you're kind of like IMDb. You put 3 under 3 of the Freddy movies are under number 2. You don't think number 2 is the worst, and that's one thing I am seeing. A lot of people who say Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is the worst are the people who really hark on one of two things: the gay stuff, which I'm just like, I don't understand your problem. Why can't it be gay? I think the gay shit makes it better. I think it gives the movie more feeling.
I'm kind of with you on that. I'm just like, don't get me wrong. The fucking things that are in it are funny. But at the same time, I mean, like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? I mean, who cares whether goddamn, Jesse's struggling with his sexuality and shit like that? I mean, it's just like the only thing that does to me is just add more flavor to the movie.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's, you see this kind of shit in a lot of the. Go watch Sleepaway Camp and tell me you don't see some gay shit.
That shit's fucking direct in that.
Yeah, and so in Freddy's Revenge, you get the same kind of shit, and it's fine. Like, and I love it because sometimes there's that one scene where they poke a lot of fun of it, where when he shows up to Grady's house and he's like, "Yeah, she wants to be in you, and you want to sleep with me." That shit was hilarious.
Yeah,
man. Are you kidding me? That was so fucking good.
Yeah, so I agree with you, man. I mean, it's just like, who gives a fuck? It just made the movie better to me.
Yeah, and then the other thing is the whole, well, Freddy shouldn't be in real life kind of thing, which to that, I'm just like, Freddy's been pulled into the real world before. I understand that he wasn't that to you he wasn't pulled in there directly from a dream, because instead it's him like taking over the possessed body. Which is different because at no point is Jesse asleep in any of the times that Freddy takes over. He clearly wakes up, and it clearly happens to him while he's awake.
I think him being asleep is kind of like the catalyst sometimes. You know, that just kind of gives Freddy the ability to get there, and then that's when Freddy starts coming through, that's when Jesse wakes up, but at that point it's too late.
You know what, you're right, because he was asleep right before he went and killed the coach. He woke up, went to the gay bar. He was asleep right before he killed Grady, which led into the thing. So yeah, I mean, he's basically Freddy takes over while he's sleeping, so it is happening with the dreams. We just don't see the dreams this time. For those two instances, and he still takes over the body. I really don't get the hate, and I don't get the snake. Who put the snake on him?
I think Freddy used his reality warping dream powers to take the stake from the tank and make it appear on him.
I don't care. It was a funny scene though, especially when he shoots Grady the bird.
Yeah, that is funny. I love the looks him and Grady have. I love the interactions between him and Grady. Even like when he tells Grady to shut up and they're eating lunch and Grady's like, "Want me to shut up?" And he like slams his thing down. Like the interactions between him and Grady are fucking awesome. When he's like, "Grady, what's your problem with me?" You're like, "Nothing, man. Just killing time."
Yeah, and see, I actually like that because at the beginning of the movie, you get that impression during the whole scene right before that. You get the impression that it's going to be, okay, he's the new kid and he's fucking goddamn getting picked on. But when it really comes down to it, he's not. They right after that fucking little scuffle that they have where Jesse's ass is hanging out, they become fucking best friends. You know what I'm saying? So you got the jock that's becoming best friends with the fucking, you know, the new kid and whatever. So you really don't majorly get that whole Jesse being picked on and whatever else, and then he's hanging out with the rich girl and all that. I really like that because it wasn't
this
that typical.
movie goes against the tropes. You're right. It is not typical for the teenage cast. It goes against all those tropes.
Right, and even at the beginning, it almost seems like it's going to be that way because when he's on the bus, you know, how did you put it? The way that he looked.
Oh, like fucking My Chemical Romance.
Right. Okay, when he's looking like that at the beginning, you think that he's going to be the outcast kid and blah blah blah, and then come to find out, no, he's fucking hanging out with the rich girl and fucking the jock in school. So it's like, it's really really good. I like that.
You're right, and we got to talk about the dance scene. We got to talk about this dance scene.
I thought
who's the better dancer, him or Crispin Glover from fucking Friday 4?
The music was better in Friday 4, but the dancing was better in
Mark Patton knows how to move that ass.
He wore it out, dude. That was so good, man.
He's got the glasses going on. He's got the masturbation on the bed jump. I dig it. I like when he puts the fucking hat on and he does like the fucking like fist forward thing. It's fucking hilarious, man. He puts the booty bump, man.
I thought my favorite part
everything
was
that way.
When he popped the pop gun.
Oh yeah.
Like he was getting his nut and he's like, boop. I thought that was great.
Oh god, it's so fucking good. And like at the time, the fucking songs like "Touch Me All Night Long," "Make Me Love You," and "Kiss You and Hug You," and it pops when the fucking
touch me.
Yeah, when the chick walks in and it's like, oh my god, and there's a sign on the door that says "No chicks."
Oh, did you ever notice that when she fucking pulls the diary out of the fucking closet, the game up in there is called Probe?
Yes.
And I'm like, how do you people not know what y'all are doing? There's no fucking way that y'all cannot see this shit. Because some of that, you know that the fucking Probe game was not in the fucking script. That somebody put it up there.
Oh yeah, for fucking sure. That more people had to know than they want to let on. I do think I remember something about the set designer was in on it.
Right.
But really, like, besides the writer and the set designer, everyone else is pretty much like, we knew nothing.
Yeah, and I'm just like, come on, man. There's shit that is fucking blatant right there in your face while you are filming it. How do you not understand this? But whatever.
I still don't understand how they found that fucking diary in there. That just should... There's no way that diary would not have been found when they cleared out that house.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
I don't know, man, because I've went like, I've moved several times in my life, and so into like some of the new apartments that I've moved into, man, there's shit that's fucking, that you find in there, like in the corners of the closets or whatever else, man, that they don't see when they clean out the place. So it happens.
So I can understand. So I understand both of what you're saying. Kenneth, you were correct in most situations, but this was a crime scene because they do mention later in the series that it is that her mom actually died in the house, and actually they mentioned in this movie that her mom died in the house. But so it was a crime scene. So not only would have Nancy and her dad have been cleaning everything out, but the cops would have also been through there. So I don't know. It does seem highly unlikely that in the situation surrounding the house that they would have left the diary behind.
I didn't look at it that thick, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so there's problems with this movie, but I don't think the problems are as bad as some of the other movies, and I definitely think that there's just as many problems with this as there is with the first movie. I don't think it's I will say the third movie I had less problems with, like, story functioning wise. It was just too fucking goofy for me, but I guess we'll get into that on another time, because at this point we're gonna have to do Freddy Dream Warrior things at some point. But yeah, so for this movie, I highly recommend this movie. I definitely think people need to rewatch it and give it another shot, just for how fucking terrifying Freddy is in this movie. This is by far the scariest Nightmare on Elm Street movie, the creepiest one, the most unnerving, the sweatiest one,
the gayest one,
and the gayest in the best ways. Like, this movie.
Oh yeah, no, I don't mean that at all with any negative connotation.
We're pretty fucking pro-gay around here.
Oh god, yeah.
Every time I get a good parking spot at Target, I thank a gay for not pumping out more fucking children. No, y'all don't. No, y'all don't have that.
I'm sorry, I was thinking about Jay.
What the fuck?
I was thinking about sweaty Mark Patton.
I want cookies and milk.
I want to feed you those cookies and milk, sir.
Oh yes. Welcome to Kill the Cast After Dark.
You know what's funny? He always sleeps in whitey tighties, but every time he gets up to walk around the house,
you sleeping?
no, not him.
I sleep naked.
Jesse.
Sweet.
When hold on, I'm gonna get into that in a second. But I want to say this: Jesse has respect for a teenager, because even though he sleeps in whitey tighties, he does not walk around his house like that. Even in the middle of the night, when he wakes up, he always gets fully dressed before he leaves his room.
Yeah, when he went down there right before he went to the club, he's goddamn, and it's crazy to me because he's like burning up fucking hot in his room, and
He's
then he
gonna
goes
put on
down,
a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, he's got on a long sleeve shirt that's unbuttoned down the front and jeans, and he's fucking holding himself like he's freezing when he gets downstairs.
Yeah, and the melting, when he wakes up from the melting room, he's wearing like a fucking sweatshirt and then like pink fucking sweatpants.
Right?
And I'm just like, what the fuck? And he's also like dry as shit at that point, which makes no sense. But whatever. Anyway, I can't sleep naked. Can't do it. I gotta be. I can barely sleep in like just boxers. I don't even like doing that. I like to have a t-shirt on. I like to have pajama pants on. I like to have socks on. I don't sleep naked. I don't see how you do it, Jay.
'Cause I love it.
I like sleep. I sleep with boxers, shorts on, and socks. No shirt. I always feel constricted if I'm wearing a shirt.
I don't have a problem with the shirt. I gotta wear it sometimes, because sometimes Cass, when he tries to wake me up, he'll jump on me, and if I move too fast, I'm getting cut the fuck up.
Yeah, Mary Jane, don't do that to me.
It's because Mary Jane's fat.
My cat does sometimes. She like when she wants to lay on me, she will just lay on me. And so if I go to move her, she'll be like, no, and she'll try and like grab my shirt, but then she grabs my chest instead, and I'm like, ouch!
Harder, Daddy.
No, I don't like that.
Sharper.
No claws.
Sharper, kitty cat. So yeah, does anyone have any final thoughts on Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge?
Oh, excuse me. I was yawning and trying not to on mic, but I did, so I'm going to apologize. I think people should rewatch it if they haven't in a long time, and just understand that it's not as bad as they think it is.
Watch it objectively.
Yeah. Hey, and it's Pride Month, so you should watch. So this should be the #1 movie you should watch this month.
That's true.
Yep.
Because
I guess it's a good thing that we picked to do this movie.
yeah, it kind of worked out. But yeah, I do want to point out, like, pay attention to the teenage characters. This is like one that goes against all the tropes. I mean, hell, you have a Scream King for once.
Well,
what?
even Mark
Technically,
Patton says that he's a Scream Queen.
He is, but for the sake of the argument, I'm going to say Scream King since he's a final boy. He's the Backstreet Boys of Scream Queens. That's what I'm saying. You know,
He's a backdoor boy and likes to scream.
yes.
Exactly.
While listening to Queen. So yeah, man, I really dig this movie, and I will definitely say this is one movie I see myself watching, every once in a while. I could see putting this in and fucking jamming out. I need to know if there's a commentary track. There's not one on my Blu-ray. And I don't know if there's ever been a release before that has one, but I feel like if it wasn't on the Blu-ray, then there's not, because it had special features on it, but it didn't have a commentary track.
When it really comes down to it, man, I mean, think about it. I mean, you look at all the special features that have came out
On the fucking, the original DVD releases, then you got the fucking disc that came out with the original, the first box set that was released. The black one that had his body with his arms stretched out across it. I used to have it. And then you've got the Blu-ray fucking box set that came out, and then you've got all the ones that came out at Walmart, and then on top of that, you've got fucking Never Sleep Again. I mean, so when it really comes down to it, between all those things, I think you got just about as much information as you're gonna get.
I do, but I just fucking love commentary tracks, man. There's some things you get in commentary tracks you just don't get. No matter how many special features you watch, there's just something about it that just digs deep. Like, I highly recommend, like, the Scream Factory Pumpkinhead commentary, because you find out kind of cool shit in that one. But I just wish there was more.
But it's like the same thing with, I mean, you look at how many fucking, you got the box set that I've got for Friday the 13th, and that's got some hella special features on it, and then you've got the damn, His Name Was Jason DVD that came out, which is a fucking full-length damn look-back retrospective on it. And then you've got damn Camp Crystal Lake Memories. You've got that. And then I don't even know what fucking special features is in the box set that Jay's got.
I don't know, to be honest with you.
It's pretty much all the Paramount Blu-ray releases, special features. They're pretty much just repackages of those discs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so it's like, eventually you're going to get as much information as you can on certain things. I just wish these companies that put out documentaries like Never Sleep Again and Camp Crystal Lake Memories and fucking the one that they did on Return of the Living Dead and the one that's, Leviathan for fucking Hellraiser and all those. I just wish they would continue to put out ones that are like that, because they're very in depth and they're really, really cool.
I agree. I fucking love horror documentaries, and there's not enough of them. There's a few that cover a lot of stuff, but I like what Kenneth says, the ones that are specific on a franchise or a movie, and it really digs it. There's like Just Desserts for Creepshow. That's really good. There's one coming out on Anthony Perkins for Psycho. That's supposed to be really good. I'm waiting for that to drop. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
we definitely need more of those.
They put out that one for George Romero, the one that I've got. I don't know if you've ever watched that one, but that one was really good. It covers everything, not just the damn Dead movies, but it covers all the rest of them that he did.
I really want to see his movie Martin. I've never seen that movie, and I really
I haven't seen it either.
Neither one of y'all have seen it?
That could be an episode.
Yeah, because it'd be something that all of us have never seen.
We could fucking find it. So yeah, guys, fucking.
That's it.
That's it. That's a Nightmare on Elm Street 2. This was a pretty quick episode, but it was a damn fun one.
It was fun. Our Nightmare on Elm Street episodes are fun.
3 might be even more interesting because I can talk shit. To be honest though, I don't have like tons negative about it. It's just it was a little too goofy for me. So I don't know. We'll have to tackle that.
Are we gonna keep them in succession?
Yes. I say it doesn't matter when. Like, it can be a year from now if we do 3, but I just say we do them in order.
Oh, 100%. We'll definitely do them in order for sure. And with that being said, coming up for Kill the Cast, I don't know what we have. We did just put out a episode of Underwater Kaiju from Outer Space, tackling the South Korean kaiju flick Yongari, Monster of the Deep, and that was a super fucking fun episode. So what movies do y'all want to see us tackle next? What horror movies do y'all want us to do? I kind of want to make
Humanoids from the Deep. I think we just need to go ahead and do it.
Oh god, I want to see if I can find a copy of. I only have it on Blu-ray, but see if I can find a copy of Opera for y'all to watch, because I kind of want to do a Dario Argento movie.
Is it on Amazon? Because or Shudder rather, because there's a lot of stuff on there.
I will have to look, but if it is, I would really like us to do Dario Argento's Opera, because I would really like to see, I'd like to see how Jay is going to do with the Giallo movie, because it would be kind of interesting, because I'm really not sure. Have you ever even seen a Dario Argento movie, Jay?
Okay, so feel free to crucify me, but I'm pretty sure I've seen Suspiria, but I do not remember. Like, it's going to be one of those things where as I'm watching, I'm like, oh yeah, I've definitely seen this, but I'm pretty sure that's the only one, if any.
Gotcha. Yeah. Suspiria is Suspiria is one of those movies that the story is very thin and doesn't make sense. It's a very visual movie.
Well, that's okay.
It's a
I
very
like visuals.
atmosphere movie. And it's really fucking good. If you want to fuck me and the fucking Mark Patton, Jesse Grady love triangle with Lisa. Shit. Run around a gym sweaty. Look, if you want to blind buy a fucking Blu-ray, that Synapse fucking release, you need to get of Suspiria. Highly recommend.
Is it Region A? Because I don't have a regional player yet.
Synapse is Region A.
Okay, I'll look into it.
They have 2 different versions. They have a
my birthday's
steel
coming
pack
up.
One. They have a steel case one, but that one's pretty expensive. But they have a regular release of it, and that regular release of it has artwork by our buddy Joel Robinson. So, and it's fantastic, fucking great artwork. In fact, I wish I would have bought a shirt of that instead of Black Christmas now, just because that artwork is so fucking good. But I have a print of that artwork, so I need to put that up on my wall.
Dude,
so,
I was surprised at how many people, speaking of Joel, I was surprised at how many people came up to me when I was at the Renaissance Festival and fucking were like, dude, fucking Nightbreed, blah, 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 because that's what I wore that day. Even a chick that I would not have expected whatsoever to know who it was, she was just like, man, I haven't seen a Nightbreed t-shirt in 30 years. She was just like, where did you get that from? And, you know, I told her about Days of the Dead and Joel Robinson and stuff like that. And she was blown away by it, man. I just never realized that so many people would fucking recognize damn Nightbreed.
For real, because Nightbreed's not like a super well-known, like it's well-known in the horror community, but it's not well-known to just everyone, you know?
Yeah, and I
like
just had random people fucking just pointing at it and being like, fuck yeah, man, Nightbreed. And I was like, wow.
I wonder how many of those people have never seen the director's cut. They've only seen that terrible theatrical cut.
Probably most of them.
Oh, that's sad. They need to watch the director's cut.
Because that last chick that said something to me about it, she was there with her kids, and she remembered it from when it came out.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Oh, man, Nightbreed's so fucking good. So, yeah, guys, do you want to see us tackle a Dario Argento movie? Do you have a movie you want us to see in general? Fucking let us know. And if you want to force us to do one, there's always Patreon. And we're going to try to plan to do some more Patreon stuff soon to kind of get some stuff out there for you. So hopefully soon you'll get some cool shit with that. But nonetheless, do you want us to see Dario Argento? Should we do opera, or since Jay's probably never seen one except for maybe Suspiria?
Yeah,
what would you
so I know for a
recommend?
fact that I've watched the opening scene to Suspiria, where the chick hangs herself.
Kenneth, what have you seen from Dario Argento? Do you know, or is it just
I
Suspiria?
can't remember specifically. I know I've seen a few of them, but I can't remember which ones they are. They're not Dario Argento movies are not one of those that I at the time that I was paying attention to his movies really put in high regard like Fulci.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I actually am looking forward to going back and getting into him.
Well, I gotta say, man, I have been blazing through fucking Argento movies, and they are so fucking good. There's only one that I didn't really like, and I feel like I need to rewatch it because I just don't feel like I paid enough attention, because with those movies, you really do have to pay attention. And even then, they might not make sense because Argento really doesn't give a shit if he makes sense to you. Especially Suspiria and fucking Inferno. Inferno made no goddamn sense, but damn was it pretty.
So I'm looking forward to it.
So, but I think you two would dig fucking opera, because it's cool as shit. Like I said, and mostly because I want to see how y'all feel about the metal music compared to how I feel about the metal music. So with that being said, guys, iTunes reviews contest will be next week. We'll give away 2 prizes, or not next week, next episode, because I was having problems with my iTunes again. I've got to get it figured out. Sorry guys, that's my bad. I'll fix it, get it figured out, and we'll give away 2 prizes for iTunes and Patreon. Other than that, we are going to get out of here. Check out news from the news dropping weekly. Jay's doing an awesome job on that.
Yeah, we're still experimenting with which day. I was doing it on Wednesdays, and then 2 weeks ago I was late, and we got a lot of views, and so I decided to drop it on Friday this week. But I dropped it late because those things. A 20-minute video takes about 40 minutes to render, and then about an hour and a half to upload to YouTube. And I'm on the West Coast, which means my time that's like 6 or 7 by the time it's done uploading is already past when people are watching stuff. So it probably felt like it dropped on Saturday for you people, but we're experimenting with that. But I'm happy with how they're coming out. I like it. I feel like they flow really well, and they're entertaining and informative enough.
And Jay's right, because it takes me forever when I usually wait until I have like 3 podcasts I've got to upload to YouTube before I do it, because it literally takes like fucking all day to make the video is easy. It's literally podcast, picture, fix a few things, render it out, which doesn't take that long on my computer, but it still takes a while. But then after I render it out, it's like a 6 gig video. So I then have to put it through another program to bring it under a gig, then upload it so it doesn't take quite as long. Because the video quality doesn't really matter for a static image. It'll still look good. So I don't have to go through all that bullshit for that. But yeah, rendering and uploading takes forever, and it is the bane of my existence. So, with that being said, guys, we are out of here. Thank you for joining us. Check us out on Legion Podcasts. Check us out on Podbean. We're all over the place. We are on YouTube. We got a Patreon. We got a Facebook group that's popping. We're doing all kind of cool stuff. Jay, do you have any parting words?
No. Watch our stuff. That's it.
Yeah, and give Jay feedback. Kenneth, you got any parting words?
Skeet skeet.
That's what Mark Patton said to Grady while he was sleeping.
Yeah, he did.